are you recording? Testing, testing. Hello, boys. Welcome back to yet another episode of I Suck at Fantasy Football, hosted by myself. It's a sad week. The NFL is over. There's going to be no college nor NFL football for a few months here. We will have the UFL to be excited about for about 2 weeks before we give up on that how we do every year. But yeah, for the most part, we're in a football drought right now. But I will say, the nice thing is now Pushan does in fact know our pain. Poosh, congrats, your team lost. You finally got an NFL team, and they lost in the Super Bowl. I was a little worried that you were just going to hop on this NFL train and watch a Super Bowl happen immediately, whereas I haven't seen one in my lifetime. So welcome to pain, Pushan. Speaking of, we're going to start off with you. So your weather report this week, you're going to be experiencing a high of 18,542 degrees and a low of 18,419 degrees. And then for things for you to do this week, I know you're sad. You should check out the Golden Gate Bridge because that's what people do when they're sad. And as we all know, tomorrow is in fact Valentine's Day. So this will be a Valentine's Day edition of I Suck at Fantasy Football. And yes, I did turn the ring light on. So starting off with Cal, where's the microphone? Starting off with Cal, who purchased 4 different women Valentine's Day gifts, which is insane. So Cal, the weather report for Provo, Utah this week. So you're going to get some snow on Thursday. You're going to get high of 41, low of 32. But because Provo is an actual mountain city, not a mountain town, you're in a higher elevation, so you'll still get snow even when you are above freezing. Be careful on Sunday, though. You're going to get rain and sleet that day. And it looks like your coldest day is actually going to be Friday with a low of 29. So some things that you can do this week, just giving you a couple. I'm going to give you 4 because that seems like a perfect number. So one thing that you can do in Provo is visit the Brigham Young Museum of Paleontology, considering you are so unimaginably old that you probably know some of the guys who are in there. Another one is visiting the Brigham Young Museum of Art because people like art, I guess. I'm also learning that there is a startling amount of museums in Provo, Utah. So on Saturday, you can actually see the Winter 2024 Trivia Nights at the Bean Museum of Life Science. Yeah, the Bean Life Science Museum in Provo. And then for the 4th thing, you can go dive into the Provo Canyon, considering you're exploring a lot of those nowadays. So Ford, you are up next. So your coldest day is going to be Saturday with a low of 26, high of 48. Your warmest day is going to be Monday, high of 58, low of 34. Mostly sunny and cloudy all week, nothing too weird. So this is awesome. So for Valentine's Day, because once again, this is a Valentine's Day themed episode, I Googled date spots in South Boston, Virginia. I am going to list off the 5 results that is given me. It says 4 Oaks Restaurant and Lounge, not bad. Main Street Bar and Grill, Darby's Tavern, and then the next two options for best date spots in South Boston, Virginia. I kid you not, you can Google this yourself. The Centara Halifax Regional Hospital and the Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott in South Boston. Ford, you are making this job hard on me. Please, your only task this week is just move somewhere else. If I wanted to eat some hospital food for Valentine's Day, I'd go to Panera. So DC, Nova, Maryland boys, all the DMV guys are getting lumped together here. Expect some snow on Saturday, which will also be your coldest day. It will be a high of 42 though that day, but your coldest will be 28. And then your warmest day is going to be, it looks like Thursday or Monday, depending on when I get the next report out. It's starting to look like a Tuesday thing. But Thursday, it's going to be a high of 50, low of 39. So in lieu of giving you guys things to do, I'm just going to take this moment to roast y'all and try and guess what you guys would do on a Valentine's Day. So Ishan, you strike me as the kind of guy to tell Meredith, hey, be ready at 5:45. I'll pick you up and take you out to dinner. She's ready at 5:45. You pick her up at 7. You drive to a restaurant, walk up to the door. They're like, what's the name for the reservation? Ishan would be like, oh, I didn't make one. And then they tell you that you can't show up without a reservation because it's the busiest day of any restaurant in the year. And then you just make her chicken and rice at home. So Kyle seems like the kind of person to have his shit kind of planned out and do something really cute for Valentine's Day and take Grace out to dinner. And then Rag and Rob both seem like the kind of people who wouldn't have a Valentine's Day date. I'm assuming you don't. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. But I can imagine you two dressing up like Amish people and following Kyle and making a reservation at the same restaurant that he is at. Kind of like that one episode of Drake and Josh. Yeah, so if you two don't have plans tomorrow, you two should absolutely get together and do that because it would be hilarious. So I can imagine Scott's Valentine's Day going something like this, where he texts his date, I'll be there soon, and then he'd take his car. Actually, no, for comedic purposes, he's going to fly there in his plane. I'm kidding, Scott's too big to fly. He'll drive to the Psychiatric Institute of Washington to pick up his date, and then take her to Mad Hatter. Or wherever you frequent, Scott. Once again, I'm sorry, I don't know you that well. And next up is Makozy. The weather in Fort Meade, Maryland this week is going to be similar to a lot of the DC guys. Saturday, you can expect snow. Your warmest day will be Thursday and or Monday, depending on when I do the next report. And your coldest day is looking like it's going to be Wednesday. And as for Sutton, I have zero read on you. Like, I cannot imagine what a date with Adam Sutton would be like. I can imagine it would be a shit ton of fun, but I have no idea what you'd even do on a date. Like, I feel like an average date night with Sutton could range anywhere from blowing something up to building a Lego set to doing a puzzle to line dancing. Either way, someone is ending up with a hit contracting business card. All right, next up we have Clay. So Clay, your weather, Friday, you're going to expect some rain that day. So your coldest day is looking like Saturday, low of 30, high of 44. Your warmest day is going to be Thursday. It's going to be cloudy, but it's going to be a high of 64, which is pretty nice this time of year. And then Wednesday is probably going to be your nicest day. It will be sunnier, a little less warm at 62, but apples to apples. Yeah, that's what your weather looks like. So here's how I can imagine Clay's date going. He finds himself a girl, a kind girl, if you will, brings up the courage to ask her out on a nice date, takes her out to dinner. Everything's going well. They get a bottle of wine, appetizers. They're working on their entrees. They're actually waiting on the entrees. They're talking about what they enjoy. The girl's like, I like The Bachelor and baking. And then she's like, what do you enjoy? And then Clay spends the next 45 minutes talking about his cryptocurrency portfolio to this girl. And then all of a sudden she just clams up and gets all weird for the rest of the night. Clay drops her off, leans in to kiss her on the cheek. She bobs and weaves away, if you will. And then he's left baffled as to why she's not responding to his texts. So last but not least, we have Senor Brig. So your weather this week, once again, random location, Lincoln, New Hampshire. Still can't get over this, and it's been like a month. So Wednesday is looking like your coldest day, high of 15, low of 8. It's snowing, well, right now, actually. And then your warmest day is going to be Thursday with a high of 23. So your weather sucks this time of year. So I can see Briggs' Valentine's Day going one of two ways. Either he goes, hi, you can go through. So one of two ways. Either he comes down to DC and gets followed by the Secret Service and actually has them drive him and Kate to and from the bar, or he locks himself in a cabin in Vermont, changes his name, deletes it, burns his social security and draft card so that no one can track him, trades all of his assets for gold and gunpowder, and then no one hears from him ever again. Which I am hoping happens for the sake of our fantasy football league. And that wraps it up. Thank you, boys, for tuning in to this episode of I Suck at Fantasy Football. I will hopefully see you on Sunday because I am so tired of doing this on Tuesday.